On behalf of the company Atomyze, we are happy to welcome you here on this masterclass. We'll try to conduct it in the most interesting and productive way. We will try to answer all the questions, and we will structure our masterclass the following way. We have 60 minutes, so we'll divide it into 3 parts. The first block is business for 20 minutes, then technological for 20 minutes, and then Q&A session for 20 minutes. Let me introduce myself. I'm Pavel Sidorkin. I'm the owner of the product DFA of Atomyze, and here is my colleague Rinat Bilyalov, an architect from Atomyze company, and we will present our presentation. We hope it will be interesting.
Надеемся, будет интересно. Поехали. Поехали.
So, dear colleagues, what is DFA? The abbreviation starts to be quite popular and starts to be recognizable in social media, in the mass media, in communities. So these are digital financial assets, which include the right of monetary claim of the holder of such asset against the issuer. And also they can appear hybrid digital right, just monetary request, and we can apply this when we deal with good supply or service supply. So in general, DFA is something that is a smart contract worked out, elaborated on our platform. Issuer can make this kind of tool and spread it between investors. Now a little bit more about this technology, about this technique. So, dear colleagues, good afternoon. We'll touch the digital aspect of our platform. We will not dive too deep. We will tell you about the blockchain technology, just the basis of this platform. We will tell you about smart contracts, where, like, this is the base for DFA. We will also demonstrate the video with information how the platform issues DFA and how investors purchase them in the wallet. And Pavel will tell us more. At the end of the masterclass, on the stand number 15, you can try yourself as an issuer or investor, and you can issue DFA or purchase it to get acquainted with our app. Of course, this is not an industrial contour, just this is a live experiment, it's a demonstrational model, and you can try it and see how it works from a client's point of view and the issuer's point of view. Regarding the blockchain, when we talk about the technology, regarding blockchain, when we talk about the technology, before we tell about blockchain of Atomyze, what are the main characteristics, I would like to tell in general what are the values, what are our values and characteristics, and what aims are to build a new stage of the Internet, Web 3.0. I would not tell you a lot about blockchain technology, probably everyone knows about it, due to the qualities of distributed and centralized storing of data and cryptography technologies. It helps to exchange data safely and to be sure that all data of all participants are true and they cannot be replaced. And one key quality that is an essential quality of the new stage of the Internet development, the user has an individual right to use their assets in the network. If we look into the previous stages, we can have the analysis, how the values were distributed during the years. At first, there was just the preventive Internet, quite boring Internet. There were only static pages we could just find and read information, not more. Read only Internet. The next stage is where interesting internet appears. We can interact, we can register, we can leave our data. The internet recognizes our digital profile, suggests some services and products. There are first social media. We see new values so that we can exchange information and get feedback from the internet and also profit. And there is an important detail that we can exchange our texts and photos, but we are not the owners. The owners are just a corporation, a huge corporation that owns servers, and you're not sure that one morning you can wake up and you're not blocked or you do not lose your data. Unfortunately, this case we can see a lot right now. And the next step is when bitcoins come, the technology and the interest. There are closed networks, regulated networks. There is 2022, and the first regulated corporate network, Atomyze, appears in Russia. What does it mean, a closed and regulated network? It means that external participants, compared to the participants of the first networks on the internet, they cannot just enter this network on their own. External organizations need to pass the stage of accreditation. They need to place a set of components on their IT infrastructure with necessary capacities regulated by Atomyze, and then they are full participants of this network. They can validate transactions and they can store the unified version of truth. And of course, the level of trust increases. So the network is trustworthy. The network itself, the network Atomyze itself, can be divided into private and public. In the public network, all participants see the history of contracts, the history of deals, and at the same time there is a private network that is regulated more to some confidential contracts where the participants do not want to inform about the results of their transactions. In the private network, information from the private network can be seen by Atomyze as well. So regarding the productivity, the solutions of blockchain the platform was built on has very high capacity. It means that at the same time we can support a lot of customers who can make a lot of operations at the same time, around 20,000 operations per second, which is really close to banking processes and bank payment systems. And actually, the first networks, Bitcoins and iCoins, had these problems that optimized their algorithms and tried to reduce the time for transactions. Regarding blockchain, blockchain is used as a technology our platform is based on. But when we talk about smart contracts, smart contracts are the bricks. We build this or that digital asset as a product. We can say that smart contract is a program code with preset conditions and logics, which is set in the network. So smart contract is a digital version of the contract or agreement that replaces paper agreements. All digital life of DFA, beginning from its creation on the platform and distributing among volleys of users and then its end, it all goes through the smart contract. Every DFA product has its own smart contract with its own set of conditions and its logics and its cycle. Any user interacts with a smart contract on a platform. Interface starts body transactions on the asset. There can be different various operations related with the issue of digital asset or purchase by investor, trading, and so on. An essential part and the interaction between the user and smart contract goes through traditional channel of service. This is web app or mobile app. And an essential part to interact with the asset with the smart contract, there is a private key of a user, which has two purposes. Any user makes any operation with the asset or transaction, they sign this action with this private key. A private key, a signature, guarantees that only this user could make this transaction. And another factor, the smart contract checks whether this or that operation is being done by the contract. So the owner of a smart contract is an issuer or owner who creates a smart contract, and there is a set of operations that can be done only by the owner. For example, only owner can issue DFA on the platform. It should be signed by the private key. Any DFA can be programmed according to typical standards, typical templates, typical products, and individual conditions of the customer. So any customer that comes to the platform can define the number of options that will be unique for their business purpose. There can be different number of options. Options can be related with issuing of DFA, whether an issuer can issue DFA and address it to a certain investor who would get the offer and see it in a dashboard, or that would be a mass offer, just the asset is issued and all investors can see it. So this is the variation. Either we can suggest something new or we can redeem it sooner. So I can issue and redeem the asset. All these variations are discussed with the platform and are flexibly programmed for a certain product. It depends on the wishes of a customer and possibilities and rules. You can review, the owner can make additional features or functions into DFA and renew smart contract, so they can purchase new operations, new possibilities for investors. In terms of security, it is a very important factor. Smart contract has high level of security. As a program code, it is distributed through all steps, so it's not possible to replace anything. And so all the history, all the results are saved on all nodes, so it guarantees the trustworthy of operations.
Также его можно обновлять со временем, то есть, опять же, по договоренности ЦФА, владелец вправе как бы...
So this is all about smart contracts. We will show the video and I will comment about smart contracts once again. Now I give the floor to my colleague. Rinat, thank you very much. Dear colleagues, I would like to start to discuss a practical point of view about DFA with what we try to change. we look at how classical financial stock market is done, and we try to find the things that some participants find inconvenient, and we try to improve them. What difficulties we face with our team, with our expertise from stock exchange? We see the process, how financial instruments are issued can be really difficult. Of course, it depends on the size of issuer, what kind of relationships they have, what kind of rating they have. So we think that depending on who the issuer are, the process can be quite long and complicated, and it brings some costs. If the companies are large, the costs can be lower, and for small companies, the costs can be quite high. And regarding the third point, Spring showed that there can be risks that cannot be anticipated easily, and the investors from Russia can lose their profit, and we try to reduce these limitations with DFA. Regarding investors, there can be a problem just narrowing down the opportunities in terms of diversification of their assets and the level of security, and also the profitability, and in terms of reliability. I will try to switch the slide. Can I go back? This scheme shows the process on how the bond issuing looks like today, just to show the number of participants that are involved into this process, what role everyone plays, and what are the time and money costs during the issue. In general, we estimate that expense of the issuer to issue the bond can vary from 0.1% and higher for some organizations. What is our goal? We want to create a tool and to use such parameters to make this even profitable, and not to lose the advantages that our investors currently have. Here we have two investors with different requests. They met on the same market, and they need someone to get to this market. Usually it is a broker who helps them be in this market. And brokers put the orders of their clients in the stock exchange, and there are also mediators that make the transfer of papers between accounts of clients. So exchange is responsible for trading, and the center is responsible for calculations and accounting. What we tried to do, we tried to unite all these participants in a simple and effective scheme. We see that two investors can meet without any mediators on one platform, in one place. All they need to have is wallets on this platform. And a wallet is a place that takes into account two things: rubles that can be used, and DFA that can be bought for these rubles. So probably we look at DFA as something material, it's not a payment. source, and we can buy it for rubles, and the smart contract is done when we can get rubles for DFA. So we see the following scenario. Functions of calculating and trading and the rights and the functions of the writing can be united on one platform by organizing interaction of microservices and blockchain. Here below you have the account in the bank. This is the tool that helps us make payments online. We do not talk about T+ regimes. It has advocates and those who are against them, but we see that our platform conducts payments immediately at the same time when the deal is closed.
Соответственно, мы видим себе следующий сценарий, когда функции расчетов, функции
What are the advantages of DFA?
функции учета прав благодаря нашему
We think that
и даже, наверное,
it is safe to conclude contracts with this tool due to distributed registers. We are an organization that operates under the control of our regulator, and we work according to current legislation. This is a new market, and we are, as other participants, under very precise and strict control of our regulator. So we do everything to provide security for the network and reliability and safety of data. Due to this technology and simplifying business processes, we can offer our clients not only a comfortable service, but also to make them pay less. And we are eager to discuss the requests individually and to find some golden solution. DFA has a possibility to distribute and to break it into pieces. So, for example, if organization issues DFA equal to the debt on several $1 million or million rubles, so that the clients any client can enter, this number could be broken down into very small pieces. The minimal credential is equivalent to one coin. Now let's talk about practice. Dear colleagues, the slide shows the scheme of the very first product, the very first deal on Atomyze platform. This type of DFA is called investment DFA, as in terms of monetary requests we have an asset. This asset can be quoted at Russian values from Russian providers or from foreign. It really depends on the asset and what issues this DFA. I will explain it right now on the example of the pilot deal. The first issuer of our company was the company GPF Investment, who trades metals. They issued investment DFA on Palati. So first they started the procedure of onboarding, they set limits and risks. They had the role of issuer and could make an application in their private profile. And the most sensitive for investors is the decision to issue and how to manage this. When they applied for DFA issuing, it was fixed, the type of metal was fixed, the unit of measurement was fixed, the weight was fixed, and how it is said by one digital financial asset, and they also confirmed that they have availability of this metal.
как у них это происходило?
And of course, they
Сначала
set
они
the
процедуру
prices.
KYC, установление лимитов, риски и так далее.
To define the price of
Они
one
получили
DFA,
роль
they
эмитента и смогли
used
завести заявку в личном кабинете. К этой заявке
the
они приложили
rating
всю необходимую документацию.
evening fixing for LBMA
Необходимо это решение
in
выпустить и
association
управление
of
риском.
metallists
И,
multiplied
и, соответственно, при
by
заявлении заявки на
spread
выпуск
emittent and the rate of Central Bank of Russia. So this is how the price was set when it was placed on the platform. We had two issues and two different investors purchased these on the platform. It's important to mention that when investors bought DFA, they were not locked in this tool. So it does not work like that. If you issue this, you have to keep it before redeeming. We give the opportunity to trade again for secondary trading, and issuer can give the right to redeem beforehand, and also the issuer fixes the periods and the formula how to calculate the price of the DFA while it is redeemed, when it is redeemed. So the first deal was done, happened on the 1st of June. The next day when the VAT was cancelled for such deals, when it started to be economically profitable. The next type of token, it's our pilot. It is called New Money Market. This product means monetary request in 100% of the cost of one DFA. The difference from the previous token, this is that it doesn't have any basic active monetary claim in the amount of 100% of the face value of one's DFA. The difference from the previous type of token is that there are no basic assets. The requirements of the holder of the DFA to the issuer at the moment, on the date of redeeming this DFA. Just this product is that there is a company, a large company, we are talking about large business right now, that has its own suppliers and partners who provide services, and they have payment delay. So the supply of this supplier can have the need to finance their turnover asset, turnover capital, that they can do by attracting factoring organization or attracting banks or participating in the procedure of the issuer. Participation in dynamic discounting procedure at the issuer itself, if its treasury offers such a service.
Часто возникает потребность в финансировании своего оборотного капитала, который он может осуществить
what we see right now,
туринговой организации, путем
what we see in this product.
банки, или участвуя, например,
on the example of the second pilot, where we had Nornickel as an issuer of this DFA. They had a credit debt 45 days against their supplier. So Nornickel issued a DFA, one DFA on the amount of debt to their supplier. They made a contract by mutual offsetting of monetary claims that arose. The contract against DFA payment, the supplier got a DFA free of charge. And the idea here is that if it keeps it before redeeming or will not be able to sell it, they will not lose anything. They would get the amount that they had to get from this issuer, that they had to get at the beginning. And the company supplier can sell this asset on the platform. And of course, we think of financial institutes. We have such investors who participated in the pilot deals, and they participate very actively. And we know that we have bonds, like different bonds on the market. We have different functions, technical, fixed payments and variable payments, more complicated definitions of payments, for example, structural notes. We tried to build the type of digital financial asset that will be universal, but we will start with functionally similar to bonds, so that clients deal with the assets that they used to work with. So we are aiming at the fact that there are no three participants. There is the issuer meets the investors directly, and we say that the company issuer issues the debt as an analog of discount bond, and they can sell on the price that is different from the initial one, and they can provide regular payments. So we aim at this. And at the first stage, by the end of the year, we have an ambition to make the first issue of this type of tool, and in the next year we are going to build the mechanics of variable payments and to structure documentation for such issues, so that there are no questions from regulators' side, and we are also going to build the service to play a role of underwriter on our platform among all users, physical persons and legal entities. This scheme shows current functions that are divided on the classical market between several participants, and now they can be united on one platform. It became possible due to technologies, and we can provide not only initial placement but also secondary placement of such tools. Dear colleagues, I think that is all about the practical cases. We have a checklist for representatives of companies who want to become an issuer. What should be done for that? We just need to contact the representative of our platform to collect documents and to register on the platform and to get the invitation in your personal profile. Investors have almost the same requirements. Mobile app is for physical persons. Legal entities work on web application. It's quite simple to buy. All you need to do is just to fill your wallet from your bank account. And so once you get money in your wallet, you're ready to invest. And we also have a checklist for our partners. We see as partners two models. This is our partnership with brokers who have the database of physical persons we can work with or interact with. We suggest integration through API, and when we are able to integrate our products, our issuers into the application, or we can just put in the broker's app our DFA along with other traditional instruments like bonds and so on. And all actions of our user are happening on the app, and that is sent to the platform and fixed in the blockchain. Another type of partners, these are legal entities, banks. We also have the system of bonuses, depending on whether they attract customers that become issuers on the platform. They also have motivation for this partnership. If you are an IT company, we just have different requests from the market for different services, identification and security. If you'd like to be our partners, we are open to any participants of the market. I would like to finish with the information that we have created quite wide playbook, what is DFA, how to work with them, showed all the instructions. All the information from slides is there. You can download this using QR code or take a paper version if you need it. You can take it from our stands. Dear colleagues, thank you very much for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Желание запартнериться, мы тоже всегда открыты абсолютно всем участникам рынка. Вот, завершить хотелось бы тем, что буквально недавно к данному мероприятию мы разработали довольно обширный и подробный плейбук по тому, что такое ЦФА, как с ними работать.
Could you please take the microphone?
Показали там все инструкции, все основные моменты со слайдов тоже там есть.
So you have a blockchain and you have a certain number of issuers. Then you have a new platform on the market which creates and develops their own blockchain, and we have 10 platforms on the market, and 10-15 issuers are on each platform. Me as a broker, I want to give my clients the possibility to buy DFA on every platform. What happens then? When a client sees an opportunity to buy these DFAs in my application that are on your blockchain, can they sell it to other clients that buy assets on other platforms using their wallets? So you need a client to have a wallet on your blockchain. How do you see this interaction in the future? Do we need bridges between different blockchains, and who needs to be responsible for these bridges? Thank you very much for your question. So that your client, you as a broker, so that your client meets another client from another broker, you should build two partnership interactions. We have a database of DFA, and it doesn't mean that your clients can sell this DFA only to our clients. Atomyze opens all customers, even legal entities. There is no limitation. To connect to them, probably we organically see ourselves as a role of operator. We hope that this role will appear on the market soon, and it will be clear how to integrate these blockchains. So the operator of exchange will give access to DFAs of different operators in different informational systems. And to connect the broker with this exchange operator will let the possibility to use these numbers of clients that are not interfered. So one broker has one number of clients, another broker has another number of clients, so that they can trade between each other. Now it is quite difficult to imagine how it will develop further. Just the understanding how it will operate is happening right now. Thank you. I have a question. Hello. As I understand that your blockchain is built on the algorithm of consensus. You use algorithm of consensus, proof of authority. No, we use BFT. What is the algorithm? If we dive deep into the details, we use heap-level fabric, and I will say immediately that we do not use proof of work authority. No, we don't use this. We use BFT. In vanilla supply, By default, they have wrapped, but we've chosen the best solution that will help not just only to be closed corporate network, but also to be able to connect external nodes. And there is a compromise. You can connect them and have a secure consensus. So it means that in any case you have a network and you have the number of validators. Every new participant, every new investor becomes a validator of the network. So you become the key validator of the network once you connect them. We are among validators. In the network Atomyze, aren't you a key validator? Do you make sure that do you take all the data? Do you connect the node? Do you approve this? Do you have some conditions to validate every investor? Validation happens of the technical components that investor needs to have in their issuer structure. So regarding capacities, you have different investors and they have different capacities. So some validators will have more capacities, so they will have more value in blockchain. What will happen in your blockchain network if one or two major investors, if the service will fail? What if this happens? What will happen with the blockchain network? What will be with other participants? Yeah, that is an interesting question. If the nodes of external organizations will fail, even if our nodes fail, there is a number of certain nodes that will continue working and will ensure the consensus. So we have a safety number of nodes that will help us continue working. How do you use this storage? How do you organize this storage? Do you have some reserves? Yes, we do have reserves. Reserve of nodes. Of course, we do not have one node. Yeah, of course, I understood that you don't have one node, but so you have some service and their capacities ensure the work of your platform. Good afternoon. I would like to ask you about the product. You told us about the first product was connected with Palladi. Do you understand correctly that it was connected with the stock price and that is the third product? Am I understand correct? Do you understand correctly? Yes, in general you are right. The first product, it was connected with ratings to Western, to London prices on Palladi. And that was because the issuer had the possibility to sell it by the price that is close to this. Anyway, it was the debt of issuer and the cost of tool connected with the beginning and the end of purchase. Yes, it was the calculation tool, the debt that was calculated depending on this rate. And another product, issuer, Nornickel, who was the debitor, who was the issuer? Was this the supplier or Nornickel? Nornickel was the issuer because we made sure that this product needs to have the issuer an organization with a high rating. So the issuer was Nornickel and the supplier just got profit. What is the difference with the third product? The first one was developed even legally, that there were no calculations at the stage of making the deal. They just signed the contract that the counterclaims were set off against zero.
Вот. И, соответственно, да, имитировал Норникель, поставщик лишь
So the supplier does not pay anything. This is just the same requirement that the supplier has, but
смотрите,
as DFA, not a contract. And when there is secondary trading, there are payments for DFA. So the second product DFA was purchased by supplier. Yes, in the second product, yes. The issuer signs the contract with a certain supplier, so he issues DFA specifically for this person, with the purpose to give the flexibility to supplier so that they can sell this DFA on the market. DFA technically allows to break it down into smaller parts, to have better rate for supplier and investor to meet. Thank you very much. And one more question. The deal that happened between B2B and Lighthouse. As I understand, a Lighthouse is a system, a company that is licensed. Yes, Lighthouse is an operator of informational system. They issued monetary requests. Good afternoon. I would like to ask a short question. In terms of a retail investor, if a retail client buys DFA from the bank on gold or any other precious metal, if the rates go down, will there be loss for the retail customer? What if they bought for the market price and then when they try to sell, the price is lower, so the client has loss? Bank is a mediator between the client and the issuer, so the bank hedges its risk. If you say that you have partnership with banks, so let's say a customer buys this in the bank, the owner of DFA is a certain client, a physical person. This is a smart contract between a physical person with issuer who issued this DFA. It's really difficult to say that a bank or broker have to fix anything. This is the same as any asset, like the investor buys the asset. If the price goes down, the investor either is waiting until the price goes up or has the loss. So this is the channel right now. Good afternoon. I have the question about the deal with Nornickel. Am I correct that when DFA was issued, an actual credit debt by Nornickel was replaced by credit 2? So the terms of this debt are changing? No, the terms are not changing. The amount is not changing. But if we talk about moving this debt in different accounts, I think I need to talk to Nornickel. I don't have the accounting documents. And could you list the advantages for Nornickel? So they do not give cash in the moment. Now they have credit debt, and they want to replace it with a debt too. Nornickel has the opportunity to attract money on turnover because their suppliers get a better offer. So their buyers can have higher discounts. So this is the main advantage for Nornickel. Could you please tell more about your vision as an organizer, as the organizer of the issue on the rating or the collateral? Have you checked this? Do you participate in this process? Do you plan anything? Or do you just take off the risks from yourself? Thank you for your question. I'll try to answer the way I can, and the more detailed information you can get from my colleagues. We do not say we are not responsible for estimating the credit capacity of issuer. We have responsibility to make sure that they applied and that they provided the right documents and that they got the access to the platform. And the client needs to understand what kind of demand they're going to cover and what assets they're going to issue, what type of assets. And we will develop a specific set of documents for DFA issuing to keep the life cycle of the platform. And after these documents are signed, he becomes an issuer. Before signing the contract, our platform makes scoring, and our risk management service checks the client, and also our risk department asks for additional documents if they have some questions. So there is scoring, and there is the limit on DFA issuer. And after that, the company issuer can start issuing assets. And do you check material assets?
Если это надо, какие-то гарантии, если это холдинговая структура. В общем, так или иначе проводится.
So do you check material base? Yeah, the platform asked for stocks, what kind of material and assets they have on stocks to check. Yeah, that is correct, and we sent a request. And when we look at the decision about issue, but actually there was no collateral.
Вот это очень хороший вопрос. Первые пилотные выпуски, они происходили как привязка, но платформа для своих целей внутренних запрашивала остатки на складах.
Thank you for your presentation. I think I'll ask a popular question. Do you have any experience? And do you have any plans on to tokenize stocks? What can you say about that? Thank you for your question. I would divide tokenization of stocks into different directions, where we can tokenize stocks of public stock companies and private stock companies. These are different things. In the second case, when we talk about tokenization of shares in good companies, if they are still in the form of LTD and they change their form to stock company, what we can do, we cannot tokenize 100% of share. We can take some share and turn it into DFA. In general, we prepare many schemes and we interact with registrators to work on every stage of a life cycle. So we mean physical stock, turning into physical stock, how to get dividends for DFA owners. So how to vote, how to organize voting among stockholders, and we have to mirror all these on the DFA platform. And also other events in a life cycle like classical stock. So now we are developing this scheme, and there are several schemes, and all of them should be approved by our regulator. So, do I understand correctly that we talk about tokenization of stocks in terms of stock companies? Is this a legal limitation? I concentrated on the fact that we are developing right now
я просто сконцентрировался на том, что мы прорабатываем сейчас, да, и
In terms of public
мы
joint stock
можем в
company,
части ПАО положить, если я не ошибаюсь, часть денег, ну какие-то
we need
денежные
to
требования
put
из
some
акций
monetary
в эти
funds
цифровые
into
финансовые
digital
активы.
assets.
Это мы можем сделать.
We can do
Это
that.
сейчас уже разрешено. И
It
да, мы
is
сейчас на основе этого прорабатываем
approved right
другой
now.
параллельный
So
продукт,
now
который
we're
я
working on
просто
another
рассказывал.
product right now I did not mention today. Thank you.
Спасибо.
Dear colleagues, I
Коллеги, наверное,
think the
вопросы
questions are
закончились.
over.
Всем
Thank you
большое
very much for
спасибо
your
за внимание,
attention.
за вопросы.
Have a
Всем
good
приятного мероприятия.
day.